Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm coming to you from Chris's Caribbean Delights. Today in the Northeast here we're expecting a nor'easter, and it's going to be like 2 or 3 feet of snow. In some places you'll get more, so it's going to, and it's very cold outside. So I decided to heat it up a little and do some oven jerked chicken wings jerk, but I'll do it in the oven, and with a nice bit of heat in there, and we can sit down and munch on those throughout the nor'easter. So before further ado, let's get our chicken wings cleaned, and also I'll back that up with some veggies, some sautéed cabbage, and maybe something else I'll just throw in there. But as I go along, I'll get this menu together. And today, celebrating the nor'easter inside, jerk chicken wings in the oven. So here I have my chicken wings. I have maybe about 18 or 20 wings here. I'll probably leave them whole, or leave some of them whole, and I'll just and split some of them in half. There's some, sometimes you want the whole thing, and sometimes you just want to pick up something like a finger food. So I'm cleaning them right now, and also I have my cabbage right here, which I'm going to chop and saute. So for your chicken wings, now we have to clean those very good. Sometimes there's some little feathers that you may see in them. That's left there because the butcher and whoever is packing these things, they really can't get everything. So you have to examine it and just make sure that there's no feathers, no extra feathers are there to mess with your menu, because you don't want to serve chicken wings with feathers on it. So I'll go through each one of them, clean them up. I already soaked them in some salt and some lime, so they're nice and fresh. And I'll just go through, check for feathers, and then I'll start seasoning them, and I'll be back. Okay, so now we'll go through and you'll check. Here's this guy here, just sticking out there. Guys like those we need to get rid of, and we'll do a little scrape and look on the inside and just make sure that there's nothing there. On the tip of the wing, usually they have some harder pieces of feathers that are stuck in there, but this one is pretty good. So you just go through, you check the tip of your wing, make sure there's nothing in there, all here on the front part of it, on the back side, the back part of it here, and you just give it a scrape and see if anything else. There's some very hair like feathers that usually are there, and you can scrape those off. So these look pretty good for what there's this one sticking out here. We'll grab him, and on the back here there's nothing really. So I'll just give it a scrape and just look, go through the rest of them, and then we'll start seasoning. Okay, so now we'll go with our basic seasonings. I have in here some thyme, dried thyme. I put a tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning, of some complete seasoning, I mean. Then I have here some oregano, dried oregano. You don't need to put any heat in there, nor too much of a salt. I'll just put a little bit of bouillon powder to give it a little flavor, a little of that chicken bouillon flavor. And some garlic paste I want to put on there also. This is fresh garlic paste that I made. I ground a few heads of garlic along with some oil and some a little bit of salt and some pepper, hot pepper, and I made a garlic paste. So this now, I'll just go in here with my hands and just make sure I massage it all in, and everybody got some of the seasoning on there. Some of the garlic, some of the oregano, the thyme, and smells wonderful. Okay, so this is my basic seasoning here, which I do first. Now for my I would usually put together a jerk seasoning. I usually put together a dry jerk seasoning, which I leave the ingredients, or I haven't done a video on that as yet, but I guess I will soon enough. But for now, I'm using a wet seasoning. I'm using the Walker Wood wet seasoning, the jerk seasoning from Walker Wood. This is I think this is one of the best ones that are out there on the market. But you have to watch your salt addition when you're using this type of seasoning. I use a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons, and I just use that. I use that and rub it in and marinate with that. Now, this is a citrus dressing. It's a citrus sauce. It's called ponzu, and I just like the citrus flavor in there when with this, for the chicken. And also I'll squirt some lemon juice in there also. But first I'll just rub this up, massage this, get this jerk seasoning all in there under the wings and everything, and then we let this sit for at least a half an hour, maybe an hour. If you do it, you can do it overnight if you want, but for today we'll just do it for maybe an hour. No rush. The snow is coming and there's nowhere you can go, so we'll just do that. So I have this sit here for an hour or so while I cut my cabbage up and some onions and stuff to go with the cabbage, and we'll proceed from there. Okay, so now I have my cabbage all sliced up. I've cut that up. My green seasoning, this is some cilantro along with some parsley, and I have some scallion here. I'm going to also do an onion and some, I think I have red peppers, I'm not sure, but I'll put some red peppers in there if I do have it. I wanted a nice smoky flavor with this cabbage, so I'm going to roast this garlic. I have my oven on at 350, and it's going to take maybe about 30 minutes or so. But what I do, I just usually would cut the top of it off, just like that, and I will just place it on a piece of foil paper and get some olive oil and just put some olive oil on top and inside there. So I got some ground black pepper, just some black pepper and some olive oil, and then I just close this package up, and I rest it in the oven and let it roast for maybe about 30 minutes. Okay, so I'll be back to cut my onions up. This is ready. That's already hot. So the garlic is roasting in there. I add a lot of aromatics and veggies and stuff. When I'm doing vegetables, when I'm doing cabbage, at least, especially. I will put like a whole onion in there, just let it caramelize, and then put the cabbage in there, so you get that caramelized flavor. And then now, also with the now I did the garlic, so I'll have the smoke, the roasted garlic flavor, and then I'll caramelize these onions before I put the cabbage in there. So it's gonna have a nice, it's gonna have a caramelized, roasted garlic flavor. You're gonna want to eat the entire bowl when it's done. And this is a nor'easter weekend, and we're just staying in. We're not going anywhere. So I'll be back with my bell peppers if I have any, and to show you the next step. Okay, no bell peppers. So, but guess what I found? I found a half of a habanero in there, and I'm going to put that sucker in there also for some heat. But I'm not putting the seeds in. I'm just going to get that flavor and whatever heat the skin is going to give to me, and we're just going to go with that. Okay. So now garlic is roasting. So I'll wait on the garlic to finish roasting before I put this all together. So I'll be back once my garlic is roasted and the chicken is still being marinated. I'll give it an hour. So I'll be right back. Okay, I have my pan lined with some foil paper, and I'll arrange my wings in here, preparing them for baking. They're all seasoned with the jerk seasoning and my complete seasoning, and they're ready to go under the heat, under the fire. It's ready to go under the fire here. So I'll just arrange these, and I'll do it under the broiler for the first 10 minutes. I'll give it 10 minutes so I can get some char on the skin, and then I'll cover it and I'll put it in the regular oven at 400 and just let them cook through from there. So my first step would be the broiler at 525 for about 10 minutes, and that's coming up. Once I arrange them, I'll put them on there and we'll be back. And once I have them arranged in here, I'll just drizzle some sweet soy, ABC sweet soy on there. That's going to give it a nice little color while it's under the broiler. So I'll just spread that around with my brush. Just lightly tap it so it's going to spread around a little. Okay. There we go. Into the broiler. 525 for 10 minutes. Then we'll take it out, we'll look at it and see how it is, and then I'll cover it and put it in the main oven, in the bottom of the oven for another 20 minutes or so, or until it's cooked. So here we go. In our pan here, I have the onions. I'm going to let those go for a while until they caramelize, which would be maybe about 10 minutes. I'll put everything else in here. This is going to be the base of the cabbage. So, my so to speak cabbage patch kind of thing. Lovely color. I'm going to let this cook. Let this cook for a while. I added half a teaspoon of bullion powder in there to get some my salt element, and I'm going to add some some complete seasoning also. And then once the cabbage goes in there, I might not have to add anything else to it, but so I'll see. But right now, just to get this going and give it a good flavor, you add a couple of seasonings into it here. It's going to season the oil and everything, so when the cabbage gets in there, it's going to be like, you know, really, really flavorful. I actually have my garlic that's roasted, nice and soft. Once I get my the cabbage in there, I'm going to just dump that garlic in there. So here we go. The cabbage is doing its thing over here, and my chicken, I just took it out of from under the broiler. Has some nice char pieces on there, char skin and everything. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to cover this now with a piece of aluminum foil, and I'll put it back in the oven and reduce the heat to 400. And it's going to be in there. So now the foil is going to have it steamed and cooked, and you know, and really cooked through. So we're gonna have that. We're gonna check it in. We was on there for 10 minutes. We're gonna check it in another 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, and see how it's coming. So it probably wouldn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes in here in the oven. So now we reduce my heat to 400. All right, and let that go. And cabbage is in here. I'm going to give that a stir. So that everything can be mixed in here. Wonderful. Wonderful things are happening in the bottom here. The onion is caramelizing, and sometimes you can add some color to your sauteed cabbage if you want, but I'm not going to add any color to this. Once it has reduced a little more, I'll come back, add the roasted garlic, and give it a taste for salt perfection. Has a wonderful flavor so far. Oh, that's awesome. Well, here we go. My cabbage is doing fine. Just needed about a quarter teaspoon of salt, because it's a lot of cabbage, and just needed to enhance that salt element. So I added some fresh salt, regular salt. Now I'm going to add the roasted garlic. Ouch, it's still hot. I just squeeze them out. I just usually would squeeze them out of the out of the packet, out of the shell. Ouch. Hey, when you're cooking, you're cooking. You gotta get burned a little bit. So now, okay, so they're all out. They're all out. Lovely. I get my little masher thing here just to crush them up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, they all disappeared already. There's one. Is it tasteless? Roasted garlic. Roasted garlic. So I turn this up. Let it go. I'm not adding any liquid to this. It's springing its own liquid, and once I cover it back, it's going to spring some more liquid. So it's cooking in its own juices here right now. So this is awesome. A little bit of heat is coming through too. So, right. I know I didn't introduce you to this little guy here. This is a meat crusher. Like if you're doing ground chicken or ground beef, or any ground meat, or any vegetable that needs to be crushed, you can use this thing. They're all over the place. I think I got this at the dollar store. So you just crush. You can even probably crush potatoes in it, make mashed potatoes. But for the ground meat, it's basically for the ground meat that when you're cooking it and you have to crush it up and break it up into pieces. So it's called a squish, S-Q-U-I-S-H, a squish. So it just squishes things together. Anyway, that's another one of my new gadgets. So it works well. It's very very helpful. So the cabbage it's finished. It's done. This is the consistency we want. We still have a few crunchy pieces in there, but everything is flavorful and it's wonderful. And this is the nice. You can eat this with. You can eat this on a sandwich. You can eat it with rice. You can eat it. You make a wrap with it. But this is my sautéed cabbage. I hope you'll try this recipe. It's wonderful. I'll just give it a taste again. It's hot. Wow, just checking our jerk wings. Yep, we'll give them a little bath here, if I could. Get a smaller spoon and just kind of bait some of this stuff on there. It was about 10 minutes. I had them in there, and I'm just gonna. The under part is kind of dark, kind of light, so I'm gonna turn some of them over, give them a bath. And I'll probably turn them back over eventually. Turn them all over. Okay, so we turn them over. This would be the better thing to do. And just try to baste them with a little bit of the juice. Okay. So we'll put them back in the oven. Just give this a little. Awesome. Good heat. Good heat. Good flavor. Fine. So I'm going to cover this again. Put it back in there. I let it go for another 20 minutes before we check it again. Yeah. So it's been there 10 and 10, 20. And we're going to give it another 20. Should be finished by then. So here we are, our wings or jerk wings in the oven. It's finished. It's nice and jerked, right? There's a little sauce in the bottom there. You can sprinkle over your cabbage or your rice or whatever. But jerk wings from the oven. Oven jerked chicken wings. I thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And I hope at some point when you get some time you'll try these little recipes, these little techniques, and enjoy. So I'm going to enjoy this as a sit-in weekend. The nor'easter's here in New York, and I'll just have some cabbage, some chicken wings, and maybe some plantains or something else. Okay, so enjoy. And I thank you for watching. So guys, I decided to add some polenta to my menu, and that polenta is made from cornmeal. So I have 1 cup of cornmeal here, and I have some onions and garlic that is sauteing in here in some olive oil and butter. So once I have the onions translucent, I'll add the chicken stock. Yeah, I need a quart of chicken stock. Add the chicken stock, and then I'll slowly add the cornmeal put the polenta together, to get the polenta together. So once this is translucent, we'll be back with the rest of the ingredients. So now that the onions are good, I'll just add the chicken stock. Add the chicken stock, and then we'll bring that to a boil. You need 32 ounces of chicken stock, which is like of 1 quart. 2 pints. 2 pints equal 1 quart. So 1 quart of chicken stock. Stir that around. Turn your heat up high, and let it come to a boil before you add the cornmeal into it. So we're going to let this come to a boil, and we'll be back. Okay, now chicken broth has come to a boil, and I'm slowly adding. Yes guys, so I've added my polenta. I had a battery give out just now. My battery ended. So what I added the polenta slowly once the broth began to boil, and I kept whisking all the time just to make sure it doesn't get lumpy. Right now, so my oven is at 350. I'll cover this pot and I'll put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes or 35 minutes until everything is cooked and it's to a good consistency. Oh, that has a wonderful flavor. That the chicken broth and the spices and the other spices I have just did a good job to it. I'll drop 2 blobs of butter on there, and that's like a tablespoon of butter, and I'll put some ground nutmeg, ground black pepper in there. I'll stir this in. Just stir this in. It's going to be nice and smooth. And okay, so I'll cover this now. Put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. And sorry about the noise. 30 minutes, and we'll check on that. And we'll have some polenta to go with our chicken wings. All right. I'll be back. Okay guys, 20 minutes and our polenta is doing wonderfully in the oven at 350. It just has another 10 minutes to go. I was stirring it every 10 minutes. You give it a stir just to make sure that everything is still you know, loose and moving around. So I have this now another 10 minutes in the oven, and we'll be good to go. All right, so that's 30 minutes in the oven, and for the polenta. So guys, here we make the final stir of the polenta. Final stir. I'll grate some Parmesan cheese on there. Wonderful flavor. Parmigiana Reggiano. Final product. This is the polenta. Polenta is going to go with our chicken wings and our cabbage. This is going to cool, it's going to stiffen up a little bit, and it's going to be great. So thanks for watching, and I hope you try these recipes. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all the recipes I'm going to upload. Thanks again. Bye. See you in the next clip.